Welcome back to another episode of Folks and Fables, an actual play D&D podcast. In this episode, the bard actually performs for a crowd, the monk ruins a local strongwoman's career, and our favorite druid tries to live under a rock, and not for the first time.
So last we left off, y'all were heading back from the center of town because you promised the innkeep that you were going to perform so you have a place to sleep tonight, even though Estrella and Piron are both constantly bitching about how they want to sleep outside.
Yeah, it's free.
Hell yeah, I did.
Woot woot.
So, as evening approaches, you all are about to head to the tavern. Congratulations, you've made it. As you walk into the tavern, the bar is slammed full of patrons. Even as crowded as it was earlier, the tavern is nigh unto bursting. Drunken patrons are gambling. On arm wrestling in the corner, everyone is having a raucous time. And just as you step through the entrance, Gregory motions you over. What are you guys going to do in the crowded bar, other than Jean-Jacques, or JJ, who is going to be performing in a sec? Because I feel like that will be the last thing we get done. So he motions JJ over. You guys are in a crowded bar. People are arm wrestling, having a good time, making gambling bets. I can re-give you some of the major important people that were in the tavern from last time if you guys forgot.
I just remember the barkeep. I didn't go in, so it's not like I know anyone, so you don't need to give him.
Yeah, JJ was the only person who entered the bar.
Okay. So, usually this place only has about 30 to 40 patrons in the bar, but because of the festival, it was nigh unto bursting the last time you got out here. You were in this tavern, but now, as it's nighttime and people are starting to get very, very tired and kind of they're done with their workday, it's even more bursting than it was earlier in the day, which was definitely too many people for this bar to hold. As you walk around the bar, what's really interesting actually is there's a small red-headed woman, or let's say more ginger, in the corner, arm wrestling like...
Similar to my hair color?
No. I mean, not really. It's more like... It's like an Irish ginger. Like a very, very classic redhead.
Yeah. Mine's a little more...
To the point of almost orange.
Oh, okay.
So she's sitting in the corner. She's wearing nice clothes, but nothing that you would say would be insanely fancy. And she has a mug of beer in her hand and is absolutely going to town, beating every single massive challenger that is coming across her way. As well, there's a very small, frantic man in really long robes running around, handing out pamphlets and being very much ignored by the rest of the customers in this place.
I would like to get I get us a booth at the bar close to the stage because I want to see JJ perform.
So you're actually very lucky because under normal circumstances in this situation, there would be nowhere for you to sit, but there's actually a special booth reserved for people who are working at the bar to take a break. So Gregory actually motions over to the rest of JJ's party to go sit there, as that's a special booth reserved for the rest of the customers not to be able to sit. But once again, like, you have to like shove past people to get there. It's that crowded.
Jeez.
Think like Pub on King on a Friday night.
All right. So I shove my way to the bar, and I guess, is Gregory there?
So Gregory's over at the bar, and he goes, "Oh, who are you?" And sorry, by the way, if I forgot his voice. I haven't done this in like a month, but it might get changed. You know what? It's a work in progress, and we love Gregory anyway. As you approach the bar, Gregory looks, and just as a description, as just a quick refresher, he is one of the most innately intimidating people you have ever seen in your life. A stern, strong face. Like, honestly, it's really concerning how standoffish this man just regularly looks. And he goes, who are these people? I know you were bringing friends, but are they gonna be performing? The elf looks like he could probably sing. Not sure about the other one, though.
Monsieur Gregory, these are my roadies. They are my roadies. They help me with the pre-production, and they help me with the post-production, and they stay with me. That is what they do. They will just egg on the crowd.
I've never met a traveling performer who had two roadies who was, playing for room and board.
Well, mon ami, you have never met me.
Yeah, I have earlier today.
I don't know. I don't get it. I like sleeping outside, but he insists on sleeping inside. So he's making us come.
Honestly,
But I will clap for him. I guess his music's not bad.
I happen to quite like his music, actually. I give
Yeah,
it
merci.
a 5-star review.
I'm excited. Honestly, we haven't had good music in this town since the great minstrel, Sebastien, actually came through here. But unfortunately, he died of tuberculosis a few years ago.
I did not realize that tuberculosis was an illness in
It
this
shouldn't
game.
be. He was just too stubborn to go see a healer.
I'm sorry for your loss.
He thought his art would cure him, but little did he know that art can't fight germs.
Well, that is correct.
Is it, though? I've heard people sing and other people get better.
Yeah, haven't you heard the great legend of Patch Adams?
I go to Gregory and I say, "Hello, sir. May I have a drink, please?"
Yeah. You know what? This one's on the house. You're performing here, and I feel like it's the least I can do, considering I'm expecting massive booze and some tomatoes.
Sick. Thank you, sir. And what can I have a meal as well?
We've got some nice trout that was caught earlier today, and got a stew over the fire. That I might have to charge you for, though. That's been pretty popular recently.
I'll take the trout if it's going to be free.
No.
Oh,
The meal has to be paid for.
your wording was ambiguous.
Oh, you said it like we get the food for free. I'm gonna go get my own free food. And I start to walk out and say the forest is free.
I don't recommend going into the forest at night.
I'm okay.
Why not?
Wait, why? Yeah, why not? The forest isn't my friend, but I know how to live in the forest.
He looks at you and it's almost like a record, like a record scratch where everyone just kind of looks at you and goes, "Wait, you don't know what's going on in the forest?" And basically he turns to you and goes, "Oh, there have been goblin parties wandering around that have been quote unquote kidnapping, murdering, and eating people. And nobody's been able to deal with them. They've kind of taken over the abandoned mining camp a few miles outside of town, and honestly, it's pretty not safe out there right now."
Wait, I think we already did fix that for you. And I
don't
pull
think
out...
we fixed it. We've encountered some goblins though on our way into town.
They're gone. And I pull your finger and I say, "See, look, we got it from." I pull JJ's finger and I say, "See, look, we got this from them."
So Gregory looks at the ring. He takes it from your hand. He looks at it. He scans it over, puts it back in your hand, and goes, "I have no idea what that is."
Yeah, the weird guy in the shop didn't either.
Yeah, that's not from here. Maybe goblin made, but also, what weird guy in the shop? What?
The weird guy in the shop that doesn't like money.
What?
He like me understands that money is stupid.
What shop? The only shop in town is chainmail shirts only, and that guy's a lunatic.
Never mind. I guess it's not real then. It's fine.
Wait,
I don't want to deal with this right now.
That is actually quite worrisome, but maybe more pressing. Monsieur Gregory, the goblin infestation in your forest. Is there possibly some sort of municipal rewards for the clearing of said mine?
Yeah, the seneschal, I thought, put a notice on the board. Might have been taken down, though. I know he hired some mercenaries a couple of weeks back, but, they've been gone a while, and I think they're, quote-unquote, been eaten and murdered.
Quote unquote, do you just mean been eaten and murdered?
That's kind of how I was taught that quotes work, but I don't know, maybe some of the patrons were screwing with me. I'm not the most educated, I just like giving hugs.
Well, that sounds very unfortunate for them and very unfortunate for your town. However, that seems very lucky for us. Perhaps we could take care of your problem either tonight or maybe tomorrow.
Well, you promised you'd play tonight, and if you don't play tonight, I'm gonna have to fight 10 drunk, angry old men, and that's gonna be bad for everybody. But yeah, I don't see why tomorrow you guys wouldn't be able to go out and go check that out.
C'est magnifique. Perhaps we will do that. Perhaps, I mean, we can all see in the dark, so perhaps maybe later tonight after the performance, we could check it out.
Oh, by the way, by sleep, I meant like 5 a.m. Don't you know you have 4 sets plus an encore?
Wait, 4 sets plus an encore?
That works for us too. We can do that too. Cool.
That is...
How much does my meal cost, by the way?
Oh, 7 copper pennies. Yeah? Is that not enough? I can book you for more.
That is no.
Just for context, by the way, this would be like the equivalent of like 8 p.m.
So it's 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. is what you're saying.
Yeah. You don't have to play. He doesn't expect you to play for all of it, but he
Okay.
expects you to play on and off every other hour.
I'll just go sleep while this is happening then.
Well, I mean, stay for a while. You've got some free drinks, and there's some pretty fun things going on. Like, I set up a nice darts board that people seem to be throwing at, and you turn around and they actually have a guy strapped to the dartboard, and they're throwing darts around the guy, and a couple of them actually ended up in him, and he's like, yeah, it seems like a pretty wholesome time.
Does anyone have magic missile?
No, none of us are wizards.
No. I'm real good at throwing darts, though.
I'm not. But I can make you better at throwing darts.
I don't know that I'd want to throw darts at a person tied to a board. Why is that man tied to the board?
Oh, that's just Tim. This happens every weekend or so. He just kind of... Define okay.
Attached to the board through consent.
Willing.
I mean, yes. If, libations forcing him into doing it is.
No, that's not what consent means. But I start walking over to Tim.
So he is strapped to the board. He's got 2 things tying him up. And there are these 3 very tall. They look like they're lumberjacks, basically, in terms of build and size. They've got dirt all over them, pretty ragged clothes, got some beers. They're laughing, casually just throwing darts around Tim. They seem to have gotten pretty good at just barely missing Tim. And Tim is just kind of laughing his ass off as they throw things around him.
Oh, hello there, men and Tim. Hi, Tim. Are you okay with this?
I love it!
Oh, okay. You're not lying, right?
No, why would I lie?
Can I do an insight check?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm trying to see if Tim's lying, obviously.
Yeah.
It's not great. It's okay.
So you don't know if he's lying or not in terms of if he was forced up there, but you can clearly tell that he's actually enjoying himself.
Okay, Tim. I guess I won't do anything about this. Good day, sir.
One of the bigger men actually pulls you over and goes, "We don't know what to do. He won't let us stop."
Oh,
He
why don't you just stop? Why won't he let? He's tied up. That seems like an easy solution.
Donovan tried that last time and doesn't have a house anymore.
What do you mean he doesn't have a house anymore?
I mean, he refused to throw the darts, and now he's homeless.
How though? How has his house been gone? This is a question.
It just disappeared.
Oh, I go back to Tim and I say, "Hello, Tim. I heard you disappeared a house.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I see you also don't like sleeping inside."
I don't know what you're talking about. I just like having darts thrown at me. Would you like to throw a dart at me?
No, I'm personally okay with this. Why do you like... What happened to Donovan?
Donovan's fine.
What happened to Donovan's house? Let me restate that.
I don't know.
Why?
It just kind of disappeared one day.
It just kind of disappeared one day isn't something that happens. And I, even from not in a city, knows that things don't disappear. I have object permanence. I developed that when I was a child.
Let me ask you a question. Have you had things just disappear before? Like a lucky penny or a pencil? Same thing.
What's a pencil?
What?
No, I don't think so. Houses are large. That's like if the tree that I slept in, I woke up and in fact I was on the ground.
Wait.
Trees don't disappear.
I mean, depends how nice you are to the tree.
No, They just don't disappear. I don't think it works
Clearly,
like that, Mr.
you've
Tim.
never been married to a tree, because they're frankly very rude.
I mean, I would agree that trees are rude, but not in the way of just disappearing.
Well, that's not true, because my ex-wife Christine had that happen.
Are you sure your ex-wife just didn't leave?
No, because she's a tree. Trees can't walk.
Yeah, as I said, trees don't disappear.
I'd like to change scene away from whatever acid trip of a conversation is going on right now.
No.
Okay.
No.
This has to be resolved.
The entire podcast
This has to be resolved.
is now Tim.
All right.
No. The podcast is now Tim.
Tim?
Okay. I don't know what to do. Tim, I'm gonna. These men want to stop. Are you okay with that?
Sure, if they don't want their houses to disappear.
See, this is where we're at odds here. You said I didn't make their house disappear, and now you're saying if they stop, their houses disappear. So you must have something to do with this. Please explain.
Here is my logic. I don't make the houses disappear. But if they stop throwing the darts, their houses disappear.
No. Can I sit down on the ground?
Absolutely.
And ask
Honestly, I
the
think actually at this point
universe?
you started to draw a crowd in terms of they've never met someone who has been able to hold a conversation with Tim for more than 30 seconds. And you've actually drawn an audience to see who will break first.
Oh, this actually won't do anything. I sit down on the ground and I say, Mr. Tim.
Mrs. Woman.
Good enough. If I throw a dart and then stop, will my house disappear?
Depends. Are you friends with your house?
I don't have a house.
Well, then how can
This
it
is the
disappear?
trick question. Well, I sleep places, and that is my house for the night.
Where do you sleep?
Where I want to.
Okay. Well, then let me ask you a question. Have you baked a pie recently for wherever you've slept?
No, I don't have an oven.
Oh, well, see, that's your mistake. You should just build an oven out of trees.
Okay, Mr. Tim, I'm going to kindly ask for you to not make the houses disappear.
Tell you what, they can stop throwing darts at me, and their houses may or may not disappear. If...
Okay, I sit down on the ground, I cast augury,
Go ahead.
and I ask, it just tells me if something good or bad is going to happen.
Okay.
But I'm interested. So the specific course of action is people stop throwing darts. And then you tell me if a good thing's going to happen or a bad thing's going to happen.
What if it's neither?
Then it's neither. You can also say nothing.
Yeah, it's neither. If the men stop throwing darts, an indifferent action will occur.
Okay. I stand up and I say, Mr. Tim, you are clearly an interesting person. Mr. Other two men, your houses probably won't disappear. The stars said nothing will happen. So I know that sounds sketchy, but like me and the stars, we have a strong connection. The flower on my head speaks to the stars for me. Again, I know this all sounds ridiculous, but like, just trust me. You can just leave.
Thanks. I'm Garland, by the way. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Okay, Garland. I probably won't remember that.
Oh, that's not rude at all. Okay, bye.
If I do, I'll remember that. If you get lost and you see me, I can point you in the right direction, though. That's kind of my thing.
We don't really leave town except to go to our wood mill, and that's not very far. Nice meeting you, though. Bye, weird, strange lady.
Garlic.
All right, moving on. JJ, do you want to do your set, or do you want Piron to go first in terms of what they want to do?
I'll be fully honest with you. I'm not going to be singing for this podcast. I'm just doing a role, right? Like that's okay.
Yeah, no. I'm not going to make you sing. I'm not a lunatic.
Do we want listeners? Because if we want listeners, I shouldn't sing.
Here's the deal. Instead of singing, why don't you do spoken word?
I don't know. I think he should.
So who wants to go first? Piron, do you want to have your interactions in the bar, or...
I don't know that I do much exciting. Piron's kind of just munching away. You know, he just going at that fish. He just like, how good is it? Is it good? Is it finger licking good? Is it like all right?
It's really bland. It feels like somebody took a fish out of the water and gutted it and then shoved it under a fire until it didn't give you diseases.
Piron is disappointed by his fish. He doesn't quite finish it. He kind of just chugs his drink down. And then he's going to go watch the arm wrestling while he waits for JJ to get ready for his set.
So
he doesn't want to
fine.
participate though. He's just kind of
so
seeing what's
as you
going
walk over, once again, this girl is just trouncing everyone. Like, to the point where, like, a 7-foot tall, like, 300-pound orc man walks up and goes, "Listen, I've got this," and puts, like, a sack of coins on the table and goes, "Are you ready to go?" And she does, like, she cracks her knuckles and, like, she's like, "Are you sure? I've eaten 3 of your brothers and your cousin the last week. Don't want you to have to embarrass yourself again, old man. Like, what? Isn't this 4 weeks in a row that you've gotten your ass whooped by this little girl?" And he, like, looks really grumbly and shit like that and is like, "Oh, fine, maybe you're right, but, like, no, I can't be, like, embarrassed. I gotta be a macho, manly man." And so they sit at the table, and she actually looks at you, oddly, Piron, gives you a wink, and then 3 seconds, hands on the table. Like, he's down. It's immediate. And the whole crowd is just dying. They're laughing. They're like, "Wow, this idiot tried this again and he's getting trounced. Like, what is going on?" She laughs and she takes a drink and then she gets up and leaves. And now you're left there with, like, the crowd going, "She'll be back. Honestly, this is hilarious. Watching idiots try and beat her is better than watching idiots get eaten and cannibalized by goblins."
All right. I'm not really sure how to engage with that. I think Piron's just kind of, like, trying to make idle conversation. I don't know that it's going well, though.
Well, so they kind of look at you and they're like, "Well, you're not from here, clearly.
That is correct.
You want to give it a go at this? Because, like, I feel like, listen, nobody's beaten her in 3 months, but I feel like you've got this."
Oh, I definitely think I don't.
Can you roll a persuasion check, please?
For sure. It won't go well.
Oh.
I got a 4.
So, as you say that, the crowd, like, immediately, this guy gets a twinkle in his eye. And he goes, "Hey, this guy over here says he can beat her." And everyone goes, "Eh?" And then they start cheering you on, and you kind of get, like, crowd shuffled over to the table, where they, like, kind of like, it's kind of like a mosh pit where they, like, sit you down and go, "All right, give it your best shot. I believe in you."
Yeah, I feel like Piron's like, "No, and, like, he's kind of just getting, like, pushed to the table, and he's trying to, like, get out of it.
Yeah, and then as you set her around to go, like, "No, really, like, I'm gonna get my ass kicked," this girl sits down and goes, "Oh, are you sure you want this little girl to also get beat by a little girl? Because, like, this is gonna be really bad."
I agree with her. I think we shouldn't watch me get my arm snapped. I'm just gonna... And I think I try to, like, get up again, but I'm sure someone, like, kind of grabs my shoulders, like, pushes me back into the chair, and I'm like, "Well, Elbow, it was fun knowing you."
She looks at you and goes, "Tell you what, I'll give you an advantage. I'm just gonna use my pinky."
Okay.
And this gets, like, a eating grin from the crowd. They know that, like, she's done this before and it has not gone well for people, but she's like, "Yeah, you know what? It'll be fine. This will be an even match, right?"
I guess I just kind of... I accept the consequences.
This is like an ability check, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna make Piron roll an ability check.
Athletics?
You can use athletics, you can use pure strength.
All right, well, I'm going to... Noticing the crowd around Piron, JJ is going to look over and say, "Piron, you have this. Do not let me down." And inspire you.
Oh,
Got it.
sweet. So sorry, what kind of check can I make?
You can do a pure strength, you can do an athletics. I would say you could also do a dexterity, because arm wrestling is almost about how skilled you are at the actually act of arm wrestling is how strong you are.
Like pure, like straight dexterity.
I would say if you do
Yeah,
dex,
like straight dexterity.
there should be, because I feel like the most dexterous person in the universe can't beat the strongest person.
So here's the thing: you can use dex; it will just be a higher skill check to pass.
Yeah, I'll use athletics, because my athletics and my dexterity are the same.
And so what do? Do you grab her whole pinky with your hand? Do you also just use your pinky?
Oh, I definitely... Like, I already know this lady's been whooping men left and right. Like, you know, Piron works out, but he knows he's not, you know, the world's buffest man. He saw a guy with biceps the size of his own head get crushed. He's not stupid. He's got his whole hand on that pinky. As much of his hand as he can fit on that pinky is on that pinky.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that. Okay. All right. Do your roll, sir.
So, do I get advantage if she's using the pinky? Is that a thing she gave to me?
No.
No.
Just means
This
you now have
just
a
means
chance
I-
at beating her.
Okay. And then I have the Bardic Inspiration is what, a D6 or a D8?
A D6, mon ami.
Okay. So I'm going to roll athletics. Okay. And I'm going to roll my Bardic Inspiration.
All right, let's see it.
That's an
Oh, shit.
18 total.
So you look her in the eyes. It's got like, you know, the crow at sundown, like pistols at dawn kind of vibes. Like it goes to her eyes and then to your eyes and then back to her eyes and then back to your eyes. And then all of a sudden it's got like the anime, like you lock eyes and you start going, and it's actually like a struggle. Like nobody's actually seen anybody get this close to beating this girl, even with just her pinky. Like she is like, hey, you're actually not as of a bag as I thought you were. This might actually be a little easier this time, or a little harder this time than I thought this was gonna be. And all of a sudden, it looks like she's starting to struggle a little bit, actually. And you drop her,
Wait, what?
and the crowd explodes, and she is like dumbfounded. She's like,
I think Piron and her have the same face. They're both like, what just happened?
and she's like, how did that even?
Don't look at me.
What?
I don't.
She looks at you, and
I just said not to.
she goes from like a jubilant, like happy person to like 180 flip. She is
I'm about to get
pissed
my
off.
ass beat, huh?
And she gets up from the table and goes, I think I'm done drinking with you idiots for today. Maybe next time I'll use 3 fingers and I'll actually have more of a challenge. And she like walks off in a huff.
Did I win money from this?
So you notice there's a bag of coins on the table.
I guess I turned to the guy that like shoved my shoulders into the chair. I'm like, is that mine now?
He goes, absolutely. We haven't seen anybody beat her in forever. Holy crap.
Sick.
Congrats, my...
And I grabbed
Like-
the money.
So you have just earned yourself 50 silver pieces.
50.
And so, like, they're cheering you on. Do you have any questions about this girl? Like, you're just going to be like, oh, okay, she's gone now.
I think the excitement of winning has kind of like Piron's just getting into it. You know, everyone's like let's drink, like woohoo, no one's beating her, and he's just like he's feeling himself now. You know,
Tim in the background goes, give that man 3 rabbits from my rabbit family.
I would love a rabbit. So I think he's just he's caught up in the crowd and the excitement. I don't think he thinks to like walk away. Like he's very
Yeah, he's like, you're soaking it in, right? Like, you're like, oh my God.
Like he's getting very caught up in what's going on around him.
Okay.
That being said, he is a pretty perceptive person, so maybe could I make like a roll to see if he
Sure.
like notices something's off?
Yeah, go
or
ahead.
If he's just
Okay. You don't really notice anything other than one really glaring obvious thing, which is she looks like a normal girl who could bench press, you know, a small truck, but she doesn't even look like that. She's got like a similar definition to like what Estrella has. She's muscular, but you wouldn't think she's like excessively strong.
she look like she lift, but she don't look like she lift houses.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not like, oh my God, this behemoth of a human is going to murder me. She looks like a slightly stronger than average person.
Okay.
But the one thing you do notice, shirt is like a regular blue shirt, but as she turns around to walk away, there's a sun crest, like a crest that's like a half-risen sun on the back of her shirt.
Okay. Do I know what that is at all?
You can make a history check if you wanted to. All 3 of you are there. I'd say you could all make history checks. I think the only person that would have a real shot at recognizing it, though, would be JJ.
I'm not gonna roll it. I probably didn't notice it. It probably didn't spike anything to me. I lived in the forest.
Okay.
I did at 12.
Okay. So you know then, JJ, that people from noble families tend to have their own family crest, and that's kind of what this looks like. Like, it's weird, because you've never seen it on the back of a shirt before. It's always, like, either, like, fanciful robes where it's a patch in the corner or, like, a standard on a flag. You've never really seen it in this fashion, but it looks like a house standard, almost.
Okay.
So, yeah. I assume, Estrella, you're done with your conversation with Tim, right? You've left him to talk with the
I
rabbits?
just said that the people can leave. I'm done with.
Sorry,
Yeah.
do I
and
actually get a rabbit though?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
It's JJ's turn.
Yeah, so I guess it's time for JJ's first set.
Hell
Okay.
yeah, let's go, JJ!
Let's see it.
And
Let's get this
Piron
done.
is probably more than a little bit inebriated at this point because some people
So I
have
think-
forced some drinks on him. So he's just fucking
I was about to
screaming
say,
for you. Biggest
I don't
hype
think you've
man.
ever... Actually, here's a question for you, Piron. Do you drink? Did you, have you ever had experience with drinking
baby.
before this?
Oh, baby. Piron's done, everything.
Well, no. So
alcohol is definitely one of the things he's consumed, but he's been inebriated in many different forms.
Okay.
He's
So-
had some weird
Okay, got it. So yeah, so you're definitely... Actually, can you roll a Constitution check for me?
Constitution check or save? I guess it would be a
Save.
save. It's the same either way. Critical fail on my save.
You're so here's the thing. You're used to drinking, but they're buying you the best of the best, which means the highest of the highest. And you are wobbling. JJ goes up on the stage about to do his performance, and you are seeing 4 JJs, and you're really confused because you're I thought there was only one JJ, but now there's 4 of them on the stage.
No, I think at this point, at this level of drunk, I just accept it. I'm just screaming. I'm let's go JJ's, JJ band. And JJ's listening what is he talking about? I am screaming though. He's just, he is losing his mind for JJ.
All right, so JJ.
But he's got the rest of the crowd.
Oh, absolutely.
Going,
you are the center of attention right now. And when you start screaming for the band of JJs, everyone looks and only sees one JJ and then goes, "Yeah, band of JJs."
Wait. Can I use? They won't make any sound because it's minor illusion. But can I make it look like there's a band of JJs with my minor illusion? They can't make sound.
I don't think that spell can do.
It can
that.
make so it creates a sound or.
You can't make a person. You can make an object. Making people is for
That's
higher
fair.
level illusion spells. Otherwise, you removed 90% of
true.
illusion spells because that's all they do is make you make better.
So
minor
here's the thing.
illusions.
Under normal circumstances, I would say absolutely not. Mechanically, you cannot make a person. I will say under this circumstance,
I'll just make more fun music then, but only before he starts. I'll make
Just make sparks,
sparks.
the stage
and this is what you mean by
pyrotechnics.
roadie. You got to get it's like when John Cena walks into WrestleMania 51. You've got the sparks going, you've got the walk-up music.
It's funny because if it sparks, it won't make a sound, but that's fine.
You can just cast both, one at a time. Start with the sparks, then the music, then the sparks again, then the music, back and forth.
Okay, I'll do that.
And JJ, you get on the stage to screaming fans. It feels like you're Kanye West at a Kanye West concert before he went crazy. And even Gregory, you look over to the bar and he's like, "Oh my God, they're not immediately throwing tomatoes."
All right, so if everyone's hyping me up and everyone's really excited, all right, and I'm getting all these pyrotechnics as help, and even before I'm performing, all right, the situation is such that even Gregory is surprised by the pageantry here. I'm sure that has to help with my performance at least a bit, right?
For sure.
So advantage? Question mark?
No.
I think you should get advantage.
So here's the thing.
I think I should get advantage.
Am I going to give you advantage? No. But you'll see. You'll see.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to convince everyone that I'm really good. So can I do persuasion instead of performance?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
You're performing. What are you talking about?
This is the definition of a performance check.
I'm just really scared to roll because there have been no good rolls so far.
You should have been like me and maxed out your performance when I played a bard.
I rolled a 21 on my perception. That was solid.
That's pretty darn great.
I just don't do well with my charisma. I'm not very charismatic.
Boom. All right. Solid 12
Okay.
for the opening
So
set.
describe what you're doing.
I am starting out. Considering I have to do multiple sets, I think the first song I'm starting out with just a common country folk kind of jig, something that's a little bit more simple, a little folksy, but really upbeat, and everyone kind of knows it, so people can just kind of sing along and get into it.
Okay.
But then after that is over, I'm gonna let the crowd kind of settle and rest a bit. And I'm going to play out a more soulful ballad, something that's still folksy, but something that's a little bit more rare, something that's not so commonly played, maybe a little bit longer.
Okay.
Yeah, a nice long story.
All right.
Yeah.
So what happens is you start off with the jig, and everyone actually is kind of into it. Like, you know what? This is definitely not your best performance, but it's pretty solid. And you start off with the jig, and like, it seems to be going pretty well. And then you go into like the more soulful ballad, and everyone gets really quiet. And as you conclude the soulful ballad, it's a solid probably 2 or 3 seconds of dead silence. And then Piron, out of the corner of your eye, goes, "Woo! Band of JJs!" And then the entire bar erupts in cheers. And they start throwing coins onto the stage, and they're going nuts. This is wild, because this bar probably should hold like 20 to 30 people, and there's probably 100 people in this bar who are throwing like coins and like flowers, and like underwear comes from the back of the wall, like back of the bar onto the stage somehow. And,
Wait, I thought you said the bar was packed.
It is packed.
With 20 to 30 people?
No, I said it normally holds.
No, he said it should be 20, but it's 100. Too many people.
It's a bar meant for 20 to 30 people, but like it's crowded with like 100 to 150 people depending on the time.
There is no chance for social distancing here.
Yes. They would all be getting the corona.
It's okay. They live in a plague.
Except for tuberculosis.
Except for Sebastian.
That's the real
except
fantasy.
For Sebastian.
Getting to be within 6 feet of someone without a mask on.
That's the real role play.
Okay. All right, sounds great. Should I just do performance checks for like all the sets, or is that just all?
No.
Yeah.
So that's your first set, and you're about to get off the stage when suddenly a man appears on stage.
Is it the man? Is it the whack man?
He is a tall brunette man with brown eyes that looks very thin and gaunt. He's wearing long black robes with a picture of the crescent moon just above his right bicep. His hair is down and very straight and a little greasy, and he's got freckles all over his nose. And he looks and goes, "None of this matters, for you all shall receive death by penalty of the true king." And then, as you can see, he starts tossing things into the crowd.
I yell quickly, "Who's the true king?" I actually don't know.
So everyone goes like, "Shut up, like stop, like do not like stop talking, do not egg this guy on." Like everyone looks like this has happened a bunch of times before, and this is more annoying than a problem. He's like, "You all shall bow when the true king ascends the throne and puts you all to the swords, you heathens." And he looks at you guys, and suddenly like 2 gruff burly men drag him off the stage and goes, "No, I will not be silenced. The true king will rise." And he's kicking and screaming as he's dragged off the stage.
Actually, before the people drag him off, or maybe as he's being dragged off, JJ does not enjoy hecklers and would love to insult this man.
Go ahead.
All right. I will say, you know what?
Casting the insult spell?
That is exactly what I'm going to be doing. But I'm going to say, you know what? The sweet release of death will be a welcome gift from your fantastic true king, if it means that I will never have to hear your terrible voice again.
Roll a... You can choose persuasion or performance.
Wait, he's just casting the spell.
Oh, you're casting the spell?
Yeah, so you roll,
Yeah,
Joey.
you're just casting...
Oh.
You have
Your
to
wisdom.
save with wisdom, as he mocks you viciously.
Oh, so he looks at you, and he actually, like, this looks like a man who is very devout in his beliefs, but he looks at you, and he actually, like, he's on the verge of tears as he's, like, kicked off the stage, and you look at the crowd, and the crowd starts, like, throwing the same kind of insult. They're not as good, but, like, this along the same lines of insults at him, as he's, like, dragged, kicking and screaming off the stage, going, "No, this is not right! The true bastion of the king shall not be treated in this unfaithful manner!" And he's, like, dragged out of the bar, and he goes, and so actually... Garland turns to you, Estrella, and goes, "Oh, that idiot, he will not leave us alone. He's actually set up office in this town, and if it wasn't for the fact that he's pretty harmless, he would absolutely be in the mayor's dungeon right now."
Hey, Garlic, who's the true king?
It's Garland, and
Sorry.
Have you been living under a rock for the past 200 years? Do you not know who
Sometimes I live under a rock. Mostly I live up in a tree, though.
Oh, that's unpleasant. The true
It's
king...
actually very pleasant. JJ says we should stay here for tonight, but I don't think I need to.
I'll give it a try sometimes, maybe. All right, strange lady. So after the Great Reconciliation, the council decided to remove power from the royal family, as they've gone a bit insane, and we've been taken over by the Great Council. But unfortunately, there are still those who believe that the true king.
So while he's talking, I say, "Hold on a second," and I run to JJ and I say, "JJ, do you have a notebook?"
Of course.
Can I steal it for a minute?
If there is something worth writing down, perhaps my penmanship will be more readable to the rest of us.
It's just for me. I'm pretty sure you'll know this. This is new for me. I just take it and run away. And I say, "Okay, I'm back, Garlic."
Rather than writing it down, why don't you just take a pamphlet?
Pamphlet? What's a pamphlet?
The man was throwing pamphlets.
Wait, but I need
crowd.
explanation from you. You said Great Rick. There's a lot of new words.
So the Great. How do you not know?
Again, under a rock. Actually, continue, please. Thank you.
I was just going to say, I think by this point, JJ is with Estrella.
Yeah, well, your set's done, right? You're
Yeah.
off. They've got like the generic instrument guys playing up there now, just to kind of keep the ambience going. But like you've been given a break.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Pierre is at that final stage of drunk, where you can't open your eyes anymore, but you're not yet unconscious.
So, how far do I need to go back? Do I need to go back to the era of the Great Reconciliation? Do I need to go back to the era of ancients? Like, what are we talking here?
Just give me enough information to know who this true king is.
So the Great
I'm not gonna write
Reconciliation
down that
was
much.
the founding of the king of the empire as we know, where he conquered the Sun Emperor conquered the continent.
Sure. Okay, I write down Sun Empire ? And I'll ask questions later.
His name was the Emperor of the First Flame. I apologize. It's been a while since my 6th grade history class.
Wow, this is 6th grade history? These peasants are educated. There's some high-educated peasants.
I actually come from the capital city. I chose to live a life of lumberjacking.
Also, this is like OOC commentary. Piron can't make words right now.
So, basically, the Emperor of the First Flame, that his greatness was too powerful to be left simply in his own kingdom, and decided to, quote unquote, unite the continent using murder.
The classic tool.
Yep. So after the horrific events of the Great Reconciliation, he was removed by the Council of the White Rose and replaced with a pseudo-emperor, and it's basically a council democracy that runs the country now. But the lineage of the Emperor of the First Flame, it's very well known. They're a very prominent family. It's just they've been irrelevant for the last 200 years, I'd say. But these crazy lunatics are trying to put the family back on the throne, even though they have on multiple occasions said they're very happy living a common life in their mansions.
Okay. So this man wants True King to be back on king throne that doesn't exist. But they don't want to be, is what you're saying.
As most monarchs generally start off as.
Most monarchs start off not wanting to be on the throne, or done with being on the throne.
No, they don't. The family is very happy. They're very wealthy. They just live in their own estates, doing their thing. They can be a bit standoffish, but nobody wants to start another war again.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the history lesson. I will promptly, probably forget all of that, but I'll
didn't
remember
you write it
those
down in
words.
your notebook with your pencil?
Yeah, it's not my notebook. I'll remember it. I'll point to it and
just for your
he'll
reference,
explain it later.
JJ, like Piron, you look very interested because, like, this is new history, I assume, right? Like, I assume you look very
drunk
interested.
and inebriated.
You're drunk and inebriated.
I can't. Words are not words to Piron. Right now.
But like JJ's looking at you like, how the do you like? This is just like basic.
I understand that. That's why I said I'll point to JJ when I need it explained again. Thank you, Garlic. Have a good day. If you get lost
Garland.
again, sorry. Thank you, Garland. If you get lost again and see me
Actually,
for any reason,
canonically, can you keep calling him Garlic?
yeah, Joey, of course.
Oh yeah, I was literally about to say au revoir, Garlic.
I love that.
So-
Okay.
Thank you, Garlic. Have a good day, and if you get lost, I will I'll help you again. That's my
Okay.
thing. Flowers, stars, thingamadoop.
Perfect.
Have a good day.
Perfect. So, I will say the night drags on. You guys are having a good time. It seems like mostly things are going well. You seem to be getting, like, more well-known in the town. I don't know that you're, like, popular, but, like, you're starting to get a reputation. Like, people are starting to know you. Piron, you're a legend, though. Like, Gregory actually takes a knife and scratches your name into the wall of fame in his bar.
That's amazing.
I'm slightly insulted, but whatever.
Well, no, they've had great performances before, but
I know.
no one has ever proven that feat of strength.
I know. I do actually have one little point of note for my next performance. Seeing how everyone quite disliked the loyalist, I guess. I know at the university we talked about some, like, the vast majority of people not really liking royalty and not really liking the Great Council and stuff.
Well, but they dislike them for different reasons, and you know this. Basically, the reason they didn't like the royal family is because they tend to go kind of crazy and just make really random decisions. Like, there was a man who made the cactus tax, which is basically people weren't allowed to use coins as currency for 2 years. They had to use cactuses.
Okay, I actually love that because nothing's quenchier than cactuses. But what I was going to say about my performance was, I don't know if you'll be okay with this, but I'm imagining that there's definitely, like, a song that, like, students at the Bard College learn about just, like, stupid things about the royal family, and it's just, like, insulting royalty.
Love it. So here's the thing. Just for time's sake, I assume that you performed just as well in your next round as you did in the first round. But you get up there and you sing this song, and people are actually going as nuts as they were for the initial jig. They're like, hey, we've never heard this before. But, like, you get, like, them clapping along to it. Like, it's got a pretty catchy beat. Like, you talk about the cactus tax. You talk about the race of the rabbits, where basically they took 3 horses and 3 rabbits and made them race, and they ended up trampling over all the rabbits. But this was in the middle of the capital city, and it was really horrific to watch. Going through all just, like, the crazy shit the royal family's done. And it's honestly, like, it gets a great reception. Like, people haven't heard this before, but you definitely know that this is going to be a staple in this town now for, like, the near future.
Fantastic.
And as you're getting off stage, actually, someone bumps into you as they're leaving the bar. Because the stage entrance is, like, to the next to the front door, but then as you're getting off, someone bumps you as you're going towards the bar. And then immediately walks out. Like, they give you kind of like the shoulder bump as you're going through.
All right, I'm going to say I'll follow them because that seemed rude.
Okay, roll a perception check for me.
Sure thing. Oh, finally a good roll. That's a 22, baby.
So, what's interesting is as you turn to follow them, usually, like, it would be really hard to see through this many people in this kind of a crowd with someone leaving the bar, especially because pushing through people. It seems like this person was able to actually get through these people a lot more easily than most people, because it's a crowd, right? But they were, like, weaving through no problem. As you look, they actually take a step through the threshold of the door and disappear.
I will follow through the door.
Okay, you follow through the door, and what's interesting is there's no one else. I mean, like, there's a few drunk patrons and some guy throwing up out the alley outside the bar, but, like, the hooded man's gone.
Okay.
Yeah, but can you roll another perception check for me?
I would love to. That was not very good. That's an 8.
All right, so yeah, then you go back, or you're good. The night's winding down.
Yeah.
Okay. So
We have the thing we're doing tomorrow.
yeah, so the night ends, and you wake up. So you wake up. It is a mess. It is the classic, like, college movie hangover scene. Like, there's chairs everywhere. Piron, you're on the counter with, like, a mug hanging barely on your hand, like, just snoring away. Estrella, you're, like, quietly trying to sweep things up because you're, like, trying to be helpful, and you're just overwhelmed with the amount of work that everyone's left you to do. Because even Gregory is like, I'm dealing with this later.
I'm gonna say I'm not sweeping things up. I'm gonna overrule you on that.
Okay, that's fine.
No.
I just feel like you're the responsible one who would, like, want to be more cleaning, but sure, what do you want to do?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I probably snuck outside in the middle of the night and slept in a tree.
Actually, I like that better, actually. So you actually wake up and there's like a tree in the center of town. So you're actually like asleep in one of the branches of the tree because you're like, these idiots can't tell me what to do. I'm going to sleep in the tree all I want. And like, JJ, you're like quietly reading a book, somehow unaffected by your immense hangover. And if anyone talks to you, you will murder them. Something interesting. As you go to reach in your pocket, JJ, you pull out a letter.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that was me. Yeah, I pull out a letter. Okay. What does the letter say?
So it basically says, "Hello. You may not know who I am, but you have been one of the most interesting people to enter the town so far. Meet me outside the recruiter's office just before first bell. I have a proposition that will benefit us both."
Sorry, they have a proposition at the recruiter's hall?
Yeah.
Would I know where that is?
It's a pretty, like, if you go to the map of the town...
I am looking at the map.
Like, once again, this is not a huge town. If you ask around, you would know where the recruiter's office is. By the way, people, if you decide to ask around, you get some strange looks, because they're like, for someone who was trashing down the Emperor last night, why are you going to recruit for the rebellion?
Who says I'm going to recruit? Perhaps I am just going to have a very interesting conversation. Perhaps make a sequel to the song.
Okay. All right. I get you. Get some more inside information so you can trash the living shit out of the Emperor and his family.
Precisely.
Okay. So are you going to go there at first bell?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
Can we tag along? Do you wake us up?
No.
Yeah, I would definitely have told all of you about that. Yeah.
Absolutely not. You guys aren't cool enough to come to the recruiter's office. Actually, I want to...
Yeah, you have to have a charisma of 17 or higher.
Before we do that, so after JJ reads the letter, because he's the only one really awake, I want to get, like, Piron and Estrea's reactions of what happened last night as you guys get back together to, like, get in the bar and, like, regroup.
I don't remember.
I say, by the way, this is why we don't go into bars.
I agree. I think I've learned my lesson.
Why do we not go into bells?
Everything.
I'm not feeling
all
so
of that.
hot.
Is there something that happened?
That last night. Why we don't go into bars.
I feel as though that last night was a roaring success. I earned some money. We got some free drinks.
How much did he earn, by the way?
Oh, actually, yeah, that's a great question.
Can you roll a d20 for me, please?
So it's a 15.
Yeah.
Because
so
apparently
it was a really good night, and there were a lot of patrons in the bar. You actually end up making the equivalent of 2 gold in silver and coppers.
Whew. Oh, snap. You rolling in it now,
Boom.
baby. You didn't make anything like I
Well, you made
though.
50 silvers,
but
which
I'm
is
still
half a
feeling
gold.
Pretty darn good.
Sorry, which is 5 gold. Yeah.
That's 5 gold. I made
Yeah, you guys are
moolah,
rolling
baby.
in it. You could almost buy a carriage.
We have a carrot.
No, I mean, you do have a carriage. What have you named your horse, by the way? Not that
we
it's
got
important.
I
at all.
don't think.
Definitely think we decided on this, and I definitely think I forgot to write it down. And we don't have a horse.
Sorry, an
we have
ox. I apologize.
Our ox is
Okay.
named Tiramisu.
Tiramisu? I accept.
I also accept. Okay. So, just before first bell, just before you head over to the recruiting office, you actually meet Will in the town square. If you don't remember, Will is the seneschal of the town. He's the number 2 to the mayor, and basically he's the person who runs the place and goes, "Oh, hello, good sirs." I know this is also not his voice, by the way. They might change up for the first episode. I feel like he's more of a Kermity guy. And he goes, I've heard a rumor. Are you going to be heading to the, mining camp anytime soon?
Yes, that is the plan.
Oh, if you were to clear that place for me, I would be able to offer you a very handsome reward. Sorry, Bartrand, I apologize.
Well, Bertrand, what is the reward that you have in mind?
I would be able to give you 30 gold pieces.
30 gold pieces. People have... You hired some mercenaries last week, correct?
Yes.
And they were killed and eaten?
I can neither confirm or deny that.
It is not needed, we already know. So, the thing is, how much did you offer them? 30 gold as well, I assume?
That sounds right.
Well, perhaps the required skill is higher than what they brought to the table, so perhaps the reward should be higher as well.
Can you roll a persuasion check for me?
I would love to. That's a crit, baby. 25.
So he looks at you, and with the staunchest face, he goes, "Well, I agree. I will up the price. You have driven a hard bargain. And remember, I'm paying through the nose on this one. In addition to the 30 gold pieces that I will offer you, you will also get, and I can't believe, listen, do not tell anyone in the town I'm giving this to you, because we will actually have a riot on their hands, 4 free snack tokens and free admission to the festival when you get back."
All of that, all of that sounds fantastic. Perhaps we could up to 40 gold pieces, as well as the admissions and snack tokens.
I mean, sure, if you really want to give up, something worth 200 gold pieces, but that's fine.
No.
No,
I
understand.
I said as well as.
Oh, so hold on. I'm offering you the most valuable thing you can get in this town. On top
precisely
of 30...
in this town.
Okay.
I take those snack tokens elsewhere. They are worthless. We need gold.
I would like you to roll a stealth check.
Why?
Because I want to see how quietly you're talking.
Okay. That's a 15.
So, I will say this. Bertrand, looks aghast. When you say that these snack tokens are worthless, he's like, "Oh my god, you've shot my mother." And then, all of a sudden, someone looks and goes, "Did he just say the snack tokens were worthless?" And then, you see people starting to pop out of the woodwork going, excuse me? And they start to crowd in and go, "Did you just say our snack tokens are worthless?" And they're eyeing you down and going, "This man's a lunatic?"
Again, let me reiterate myself. Outside of this town, they are worthless. We are travelers. And so it would be great to be able to use the snack tokens while we are here. But afterwards, we need gold. It is as simple as that.
All right. This is my final offer. I will give you the 4 snack tokens, 30 gold pieces, and my pony named Magenta.
Monsieur, you have a deal.
He looks at you and he shakes your hand and goes, "Amazing. Incredible. All right. So, here's the deal. There's going to be about 200 goblins in that camp. Clear all of them out. I'm glad we struck this bargain. Goodbye." And he walks off.
Do we need to provide proof of the cleared goblins?
He did not ask for proof.
Is he just going to take our word for it?
Alright, well, here's the thing. If he wants proof, we could perhaps bring some fingers or ears of just a couple. We're not going to bring 200, obviously, but maybe 1 or 2. And that's all we need to prove.
I excuse me, and I yell down for Bertrand.
He's gone.
I yell and then kind of put my hand to my head because I'm still a little hungover. I'm sipping a tea.
You're like, "Bertrand, fuck." So here's the thing. I don't know if you remember this about Bertrand, but Bertrand is a super on-the-go guy. He's got 1,000 things to do in 2 days to do all of them at once. And so once he has dealt with a situation, he's done. It is out of sight, out of mind. He is now on to the next crisis. It's
I just wanted to clarify how he wants us to prove.
You're absolutely right, and that would have been great for him to ask. But he didn't.
All right, well, I
guess have you ever seen the episode from Community where they're doing the UN and it's crisis alert? That's basically him all the time.
Ah,
cool. I guess we're chopping off ears. Do we have a preference for the right or the left?
I do not think there is. I mean, really, we kill 1 goblin, we take 2 ears. That sounds pretty good to me.
Sure, we can take all the ears.
Okay. Are you still heading over to the recruiter's office?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, as you go to the recruiter's office, you see a hooded person standing just outside the door of this place. This looks like the person that bumped into you last night, Duncan. He looks at you and goes, "Hello. The name is Will. It is a pleasure Any of you guys want to do a perception check for me?
Yes.
Let's do that.
Yeet.
Benji, I really need you to roll a 15.
Benji already rolled.
Benji rolled first. He rolled a 21.
I rolled a 21.
Oh, I didn't see that. Sorry, I apologize. As you look at this man up and down, he has very dark skin with a light undertone, almost the color of graphite. Ruby red eyes that seem to show very little emotion. And what's interesting is, because Benji rolled so high, what's really interesting is you actually notice he almost looks like he has a tattoo that just snakes up from underneath his neck that looks to go down onto his chest. He goes, "Hi, you guys have been very interesting recently, and I've heard a strange rumor that you may be heading off to the abandoned mine. I would like a proposition for you. I know the reason you've entered this town is because you've heard of a secret and a rumor of an unearthed treasure that has been near this town. And in exchange for a favor, I will not only tell you the location of this town and how to get into it, but it is really not that expensive information for you to buy as well."
I pull the party back for huddle up, and I say,
I have no idea.
So you guys remember in the first episode I talked about, you guys came to this town in the first place because you heard a rumor of an unearthed tomb that was discovered somewhere near this town, and you were coming to the town initially to gather information on that.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yes, so we have to... I mean, obviously this is a lead. Perhaps we should see where it goes.
"Yeah, I think that's a good idea."
Fantastic.
I am okay with this as well.
All right. So you guys turn to look at Will. What do you guys say? How do you guys approach this?
I guess the information, the value of it is also reliant on the favor. What do you need us to do?
It's a simple favor. I require you to get one item for me from this crypt and bring it back.
It seems simple enough.
All you need to do is there will be a book with a leaf on the cover. Bring it to me. And we have ourselves a deal.
All right, and you will tell us how to get into the crypts?
That's correct.
Oh, c'est magnifique. Where do we go?
It is underneath the mining town. You will find a caved-in wall. And the way to enter... By the way, he sticks out his hand. Like he sticks out his hand looking for you to shake his hand.
Oh, I'll shake his hand.
Okay. So as you actually shake his hand, you get like a chill. Like he grips your hand and all of a sudden there's like a pinch that starts in your palm and goes all the way up into your face. And he looks at you and goes, "The way to get in is to not believe everything you see." And he grips your hand and you kind of like double over like it's painful. It's not harmful, but like feels like you just got like a pinch all the way up your arm. Okay. And he disappears.
Right, well, that was weird.
In like a puff of smoke, or like just like there and then not?
Like it's almost like you blink and he's just gone.
Why does this keep happening?
That is my question. Did he disappeared from the bar last night as well?
Vanishing is apparently very common here. I guess we make our way to the crypt then, though. It's time to do the dirty work.
I guess so. If it is in the mine, then I guess two birds with one stone, as you say.
I don't say that.
That's as the people say.
So you guys have departed to go to the goblin camp?
Yep.
Okay. So, as you approach... Sorry. It takes about 2 or 3 hours for you guys to walk. Are you taking tiramisu with you or no?
Yeah. Right?
Is it like how far are we heading out of town?
I would say probably like 10 to 15 miles. Or, yeah, like 30, 40 kilometers.
Yeah, we're bringing
That's
the
probably
Nox.
Cartisans. Okay, yeah. So we go out.
Okay. So it takes you about 3 or 4 hours of...
Wait,
Oh.
because we gotta go to the stables. We have our friend there. How's he doing? I want to check in on him.
Oh, you, the nice man that you was having like an existential manic crisis that you actually talked off a ledge?
Oh yeah.
How's he doing? Is he good?
Yeah.
I go and I give him a hug.
He goes, "It's you!" And he gives you like a hug, and he's like in tears. He's like, "You turned my life around. I've never been happier. My wife, she's come back. We've made things up. I've sold 3 horses in the last week. You've proven to me all I had to do was believe in myself."
I'm so happy for you. And then I turn to the ox and I run and I give him a big hug and I say, "Tiramisu, I missed you."
And just like that, his manic episode then resumes. And he starts walking off and going, "Oh, I guess it's it now. Time to go forever." No, he looks at you and gives you like a, "Really? Like I thought we were friends and you're more excited to see the ox?" But he goes, "Listen."
I'm more excited for the pun. Everything else is secondary.
He goes,
Good
"Listen,
pun.
listen. I missed you, and I have to appreciate everything you've done." And he looks at you and he takes the 5 copper pieces you gave him to board the tiramisu when you first arrived in the town. And he goes, "Here, this boarding's free forever. You can keep tiramisu here whenever you want."
Oh, thank you. You can still hold on to the silver or
Copper.
silver
Copper.
I gave you.
Oh, the silver.
Copper.
No, you gave him silver, but he charged you coppers. No, he wasn't going to give back the silver. He was just giving you back the coppers.
Okay. I'll take it. Thank you. How much do I get back?
5 coppers. And he goes, "All right, I will see you soon.
Hopefully.
Don't."
Unless we die horribly.
Oh, that would be most unpleasant.
I agree.
Goodbye, nice person who made my relationship get fixed.
Au revoir.
Goodbye, sir. And I give him a nice little fist bump.
He like awkwardly flips you back, going like, "Wow, this lunatic fixed my life. What was wrong with me?"
Human contact.
And you're off.
The hard-hitting questions.
So
All right. So
it takes about 3 or 4 hours for you to get from the town to the camp, and you're actually arriving on this goblin camp at about sunset.
you mean sunrise?
No, sunset.
Oh, but did we like sleep in the whole day?
No, you only...
We were gonna leave at like 5.
You
in the
guys
morning.
woke up at like noon, and then you went to go meet Will at the...
Recruitment office.
Sorry, our goal was originally to go at like 5 a.m. So clearly we missed our timeline.
Yeah. I stopped playing at
that
5.
was also our original. That was also our original goal, though.
Yeah, that didn't
Yeah.
go very well.
Regardless,
Yeah.
we
You're getting there a lot later than you initially intended to get there.
that works for me. I like it when the sun isn't out.
So,
that's all I need.
as the sun starts to dip, you upon arrive what looks to be the outside of a mining camp. Upon arriving, you see a large wooden fence that spans around the mining camp in an oval shape, with watchtowers spaced every 30 yards or so. A large house protrudes from the center of the camp with oak and brown walls, a red roof, and a singular window placed in the center of the wall facing you. Once entering through the gates, which are wide open surprisingly, you will be surprised to see the camp's empty.
That's curious. Can I make a perception check?
So, I would say this is more of an investigation than a perception, and you can
I
do
can
that
do a
or a
survival
survival
check.
check.
I was just gonna
After you
look
do that,
around.
Okay, then you can do a
around.
perception check, sure.
I can. Like I'm not like investigating the missing people. I'm just kind of seeing what's to be seen.
Sure.
If anything's kind of out of
Okay.
place.
Yeah. Although perhaps maybe a survival check as well to get other information would be great. Yeah.
Sure.
Someone else will roll that. I rolled an 11.
Okay. So, yeah, you don't see anything. It looks like this is a perfectly well-kept camp with nobody
I guess
here.
I'll go like look around the camp.
So you'll notice there's actually so each of these cottages in the corners, they're all basically the box standard same. These look like where the living conditions are. They're the small round buildings are actually the forges where they smelt what they mine from underneath. And then there's 4 pits you can see, which look to be as if they're the entrances to get into the mines.
So yeah, I'll do near the mines, I guess around the camp. I'll go around. I'll do some like scouting almost.
Okay.
You said that could be survival.
Yeah, you want to roll survival.
I'll do
sure.
that. A 10.
Okay. So, Estrella, you're really put off by this.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't so much like, and you've been living in the wilds for a while. You've been to cities. You understand what life looks like. You understand people living. There's going to be scuff marks. There's going to be, the broken table chair here or there, like, a dropped plate, some garbage, some leftover food, maybe. The outhouse is going to stink a little more, that sort of thing. What's really off-putting to you is it's less like everyone left and more like no one was here to begin with. But that doesn't make sense because there's fires still in the forges and the camp looks like it was built for probably 100 to 200 people.
Interesting.
Classic vanishing act. Happens all the time, apparently. Is there like a good spot to tie up our ox?
Yeah,
Tiramisu.
so there's actually, if you outside of, there's like a place where like stables are meant for animals. Once again, really odd to notice. If you get there, there's no like the ground isn't trampled at all, and there's no droppings anywhere. It doesn't smell like animals. It's just nothing.
Okay, well, I tie off tiramisu to the stables.
Okay.
I guess I want to check out the house with the, what was it, red window?
You want to go to the red house?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, upon approaching the red house, I'd like you to roll a perception check, please.
21.
So,
21 is good.
Piron, you notice and you feel, you get like goosebumps on the back of your neck, and you look around and you can't see anything and you can't hear anything, but you feel like you're being watched.
I probably say this out loud to the other two. Like, I am a little sketched out. And then I open the door to the
So you actually go to open the door.
I'm investigating. I got my spear in hand now.
Okay. So you actually go to open the door and you go to jiggle the handle and it's locked.
I guess I kick it down. I just try.
Can you roll a
Assume-
strength check for me?
Strength or athletics?
Either or.
Whoa.
So you actually go to kick it.
That's a
you
9.
go to kick it down, and actually, as you're about to make contact with the door, you're immediately out of breath. You go to kick it,
Like I haven't even hit it
yeah,
yet?
like you go to kick the door, and you haven't hit it, and all of a sudden you are doubled over tired.
Alright.
Confusion.
Seeing this, I'm going to, you know what? I'm gonna play my instrument and walk around the house, and I'm going to ritual cast detect magic.
Ritual cast takes
Okay.
10 minutes, FYI.
Yeah, I know.
So while you're doing that, Estrella, do you want to check anything out?
Do I want to check anything out? What else is
You've
there
got the cottages,
around?
you've got the forges, and then you've got the 4 holes as well.
Sure, I'll check it out. I'll check out one of the holes.
Okay. So you go over to one of these pits, and it is a large dark hole, roughly 50 to 60 feet in diameter. And you look down, and it is just dark. And I don't mean like you have dark vision, and it's still just pitch black all the way to the bottom. And what's really interesting, actually, is you notice there seems to be a contraption that looks almost like a pulley or a lever system.
Mm-hmm.
And it's missing it's missing the crank that looks like it's supposed to lower you down.
Interesting. It's missing the crank that's supposed to pull us down. Or it's supposed to...
That's supposed to, like, if this is like a crank that, like, pulls it and lowers it down, the crank is not attached to the lever system.
Is there any other holes that I can check around?
Sure. Yeah. So actually, as you approach the holes, they look the same, except the only difference is they don't actually have their pulley system at all.
Okay, so there's one with a pulley system and one, but missing a crank.
So it looks like they were mining out of 4 different holes, from what you can tell. Mm-hmm. And what's weird is there's only one pulley system left to bring up goods and down people, but that doesn't make sense.
Okay. Can I look around to see if there's a crank somewhere just near the hole with the crank?
You could always check while they're... we'll go back to the ritual detect magic thing in a sec, but there's also these lodges that you can check out. There's also the watchtowers as well.
I'll check one of the lodges. Just
okay.
Pick a random one.
All right, so before we get to that, I'll cut over to JJ. So you finished casting your detect magic spell, and you're getting strong hints of magic from this house.
It tells you the type magic, fun fact.
That's the interesting...
Yeah, like the school.
Yeah, that's the interesting part. You don't know this school of magic.
I'm sorry, what?
You don't know the school of magic. You've never encountered magic like this before.
Well, okay. That's worrisome. I'm going to convey that to the group. There is magic coming from here, but it is nothing that I have encountered before.
That is very weird. What was that guy saying before? Something. Not to believe everything we see. Something hidden wall looks like it's caved in. Do we see a hidden wall looks like it's caved in?
No.
My assumption was that would be further into the mine. So perhaps the red door is actually more of a red herring, and we should continue on into the mine.
So actually, what's interesting is, and we'll cut to you guys in a sec, as Estrella opens the door to the first lodge, there's a click.
Sorry, I yell out, sorry.
Well, no, because we cut over to you, Estrella, because you're going through these lodges.
Oh, my thing didn't click. The red door clicked.
The red door clicks. As soon as you open the first door to the lodge, the red door clicks open.
Oh.
Checkmate.
So we'll cut over to Estrella first, and then we'll do the red lodge.
So I go in.
So inside the cottages, there look to be about 5 bunk beds spread through each cabin.
Yeah.
Each with a chest set upon the foot of the lower bed.
Uh-huh.
That's it. It looks almost like a camp cabin.
Is there anything in the chest?
Bunk beds. What?
Do the chests look wacky?
So, yeah, you go in. The chests, upon opening them, there's nothing in the chests. And it's not like there was something in there that was taken out. There's no marks of anything being in there. It doesn't even look like these are used. They're almost dusty to the point where they look empty.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Another thing that's really interesting is that the beds are all perfectly made. And so, considering the fact that Bertrand has told you that goblins have been taking root in this camp and that there were supposed to be miners living here before that, the fact that these beds are perfectly made is even more disconcerting.
Yeah, that's pretty disconcerting. I guess I'll go back and convey this. I'll start walking back.
Are there other lodges around?
Can I do
So,
like
there
a
are other
whatever?
lodges around.
What's the thing you do to see through illusions or whatever? That thing.
I mean, you could roll to disbelieve.
Yeah, whatever that is. Is that wisdom?
If you so you choose to disbelieve.
Investigation.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Can you?
Because investigation's int and whatever.
I would say you could roll investigation, or you could roll insight as well.
Okay, I'm gonna roll.
Both of those make sense to me.
From what I understand, illusions are normally you roll investigation versus the caster's spell DC.
Oh, is it? Oh, I
can roll insight then.
I
roll insight. I don't really care.
It doesn't matter. You can
okay, so you start looking around, and all of a sudden, it goes from this nice, pristine lodge, and there's a flash, and all of a sudden, there look like blood and bodies everywhere. But just as quickly as they appeared, they disappear, and it's back to this nice, well-kept lodge.
Okay, I'm gonna go. That's spooky. I start running out and say, "It's fake. It's maybe fake. I think it's fake. Either my mind's tricking me, or
So as soon as you say the word "it's fake,"
yeah,
the door to the Red Lodge slams open.
open.
Yep.
Oh, okay, it's fake. then.
And all of a sudden, you look inside, and it's the same thing as the other lodges. It looks pristine. It looks like nobody's living here, except with the one added note of a streak of blood starting from the doorway and going behind the desk, the main desk in the middle of the room.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Folks and Fables. If you like the show, please give us a review on Apple Podcasts or tell a friend. You can follow us on Twitter at folks_fables and Instagram at folks and fables, all one word. A special thanks to Talia Faulkner for our beautiful logo, to Quinn, who does all our editing and web services, and to Joey, who is selflessly signed up to deal with our shenanigans. And of course, thank you, dear listener, as this would not be possible without your support. Au revoir!